to Aseemee Bay. I, of course, am Rotype. Thank you very much for tuning in. Between episodes this week, we've got a little bit of work that I need to show you. Not too much, nothing too exciting, which is why I did it off camera. But this week, what I've decided to do on camera is more train work. I mentioned last week that I might be working on the full train yard, and that's what I feel inspired to do. So before we get into that, I will just show you a little bit of the work was done between episodes. This kind of key extension was one. Again, nothing too exciting, but just things that the eagle-eyed among you might notice. Most notably is this entire road network here. I mostly just kind of stuck with the pattern. I did want to keep the grid a little bit offset, or I should say I should break it into little places. So this section here on this side of Cockshut Creek, I put it on this grid, and then I went ahead and continued this avenue down. I curved it along Cold City Train Yard here, and then made this kind of neighborhood on the same grid as this one here. At least I think it is. It should be. So I think that'll look pretty good. I mean, mostly once we zone it in and get some buildings, but I'm just kind of laying out the groundwork for how the city's going to expand. Another kind of big thing I did was, well, actually, I should start over here. So if you remember several episodes ago, I noticed that I had my grid spacing wrong, and I had this big avenue, boulevard, running just straight across. And what I thought it was at the same distance between these two avenues. I had it between that avenue and the boulevard, and I noticed that I did not, and that was bothering me. So what I decided to do is I ended up bulldozing a lot, and actually mostly not bulldozing, I should say, because there was nothing out here. But I took this avenue and kind of brought it out, as you can see, like this. I think this is nice. It doesn't change too much. It's not a ton of work. It wasn't like a big long effort, but it's a nice way to, again, break the grid a little bit and just kind of make up for the fact that I had this nice straight line over here that would have looked nice straight, but it was not the correct distance from the avenue here. So I brought it over. I extended our kind of riverside park here. If you remember, this rock and its clump of trees was kind of, I think it was like right about here or so. So I turned it and brought it up here just to kind of extend this creek a little bit. I extended these creek walls, seawalls, and park walls and stuff. I brought this nice stone wall out here and gave it kind of like a proper connection into the park, which I'm happy to see some people using. A lot of cops, but and but mostly it's the same. It's just like a straight part here, very at level. Again, I left this bridge at level with the water just barely underneath, so nothing too crazy, but just little differences. And then from there, I just kind of curved it in. I don't remember how much of this was there last week, but I just kind of curved it around. And then the biggest thing I did was just take it over this avenue, over the train, and then connected it to the highway. And what we're seeing now is a lot better balanced traffic because, for example, actually, I suppose it's only intercity, off map, I guess is the best way to describe it, traffic that uses this, because I'd be surprised if anybody over here in Cosgrove would take this route. Maybe if they worked like in one of these, but anyway, it's just nice to disperse the traffic, have another highway connection. You can see we're a little bit busy here still. Actually, we're a lot busy here still. So there's a little bit of work to do. I might add some in here somewhere, another exit, just to kind of diffuse this traffic a little bit more, but it's a good start to have this connection over here. And I think especially once I get some more connections on this side, things will diffuse a little bit more. Maybe, yeah, maybe another entrance or exit right here. So we'll work on it from there. But and then overall, you can just kind of see, I like the way the shape. You have this nice curve I mentioned before, breaking the grid. You've got this kind of diagonal grid. You've got the horizontal grid, this little skewed grid here that goes with the train lines and the rail yard, and then just kind of this boundary. So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with this space, but I'm excited. I think it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually bulldoze this road. This was always a temporary road, even if I had to make it straight eventually, but we're going to get rid of all this temporary stuff and temporary power lines. Get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. I might not have wanted to bulldoze all the way there, but that's fine. I think I do still want this bridge, so we'll leave that there for now. And I'm even going to go ahead and just bulldoze this train line as well, because I want a blank slate. So again, my very early kind of just getting into it research seems to indicate one of the first things, if you are a train, or you're driving a train I should say, and you're coming into a yard, you don't hang out on the main and you don't go directly into a classification yard, obviously, because you need to be sorted for that. So one of the first things that happens is you go into arrival and departure tracks. So here's a pretty long one. Let's see how long this train is. So this one is 344 meters. So you say if that's in a track, it probably has to be like 450 meters? Maybe 400 meters? Yeah, let's go with 400 meters. So my arrival and departure tracks need to be at least 400 meters long. So I think actually I want my arrival and departure yard to be a little bit curved, because I have a lot of space. Well, there's not as much space to do everything as I want if I just stick to straight kind of a left to right. So I think I'm going to try this. So that may be kind of the middle main one. Now the trick is to get them all parallel, and hopefully Move It can help me out with this. So let's just take those. No, I want that one too. If I copy it, hopefully I can just stick these down together like that. So there we go. There's our arrival departure yard, and I would give it a direction, but I guess it depends on if you're arriving or departing, what direction you're talking about. But this is the well, I suppose I should actually come up with the direction here. So I'm going to call this the west end of the yard, even though it's kind of slanted, just for my own sanity. So the west end arrival departure tracks, keep it all together. So there's our west end arrival departure. We can then go back and take this, connect it back together. So the main line has a place to go. And as you can see, this main line will just kind of come down. I don't want to do it yet, like I said, but that'll come down and around. The next thing is the yard lead. So I think the yard lead is going to be this two-way. Well, actually, I think the yard lead might be a single track here. And that'll have to be, oh, I don't know, maybe out here. So here's our yard lead. And overall, what I'm imagining is the yard lead comes down, and let's see how long this is already. This is 200 meters. Man, these trains are enormous. I underestimated, I should say. Underestimated how long these are going to have to be. So let's see. This 200 and some, what did I say it was? 228. So I need 180 some there. That's the length of a train. So imagining, let's say a car comes in, or a train comes in from the west. It gets placed on one of the A and D tracks. Then the yard crew comes up, grabs it, pulls it down onto the lead, which will go down this way. And we'll go ahead and just kind of bring it like that. So that's the yard lead. And then backs it into the classification yard up here. So this is where I'm going to have my classification yard, and this one I think I do want to be perfectly straight, and I want it to be parallel to the A to D. I know I said that. Alright, so these have to be, again, at least 400 meters. So let's make them, sure, 444 meters, and then just drag this down as a reference, and these are our classification tracks. This will be better with snapping off. Get right up close. So this is what happens, like the yard crew will take a train off the A and D tracks, pull it onto the lead, and then back it up into a classification section, or maybe just specific cars one at a time, take them up and then take them back down, like back it up into the right classification track, and then go back and get another one, the next one, etc. Because the lead is way over there, I'm going to grab these and move them. I think I want them up here like that. No sense in wasting a bunch of space. I mean, I'll put some buildings and like a road in there, but really this is all about the trains. So let's start with this one and just say, what is it going to take to actually render in these tracks here? Okay, so just a little bit of push. Which way do I want to push it? I guess I can't push it this way, so it has to be a little easier of a curve like that. Let's grab this again and just go out like this, so that's our lead. And this is how we connect. Yeah, good. So now hopefully they'll all connect. And render, and we got some nice train tracks, and look at it, it's beautiful. Great. So what happens is the yard crew comes in, grabs a train off the A and D tracks, takes it down onto the lead over this way, and then backs it in, either a train or a car, backs it into the classification tracks. Yep, okay. Now let's connect the lead back to, of course it's off angle. Can I fix this? Is it noticeable? Yes, it is. Let's just move this in. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's the yard lead. They pull it out this way, they back them in. We'll probably add some more classification tracks and maybe some more to A and D tracks, but just trying to get the basics. So I want this incoming track, really I want this road to be able to continue this way. So I think I need this incoming track to come in and go under. So I built this slope, I think, the way I like it. And now the question is, how do we rebuild this to connect to it? I don't know if I want a direct kind of straight line, because then there's all this, well, I guess it's not wasted space. I could put industry in there. Alright, so let's try that. Let's get rid of that. And if I drew this completely straight, 180, yeah, it'd be way too far over there. So instead, I'll go back and just kind of point it. Let's see, where do I want? I want kind of like right by that pillar. So, but I don't want that kind of wavy looking angle. So let's go with the curve tool. And really, let's see, so about, I don't know, here-ish. Take this up like that. It's a good start, and then we'll see if I need to use move it. Although, I don't know, I kind of like it. That's came out pretty well. Yeah, that looks good. So I drew out these A to Ds, but as usual, we'll go into move it, because for now I just want to get them out of the way, so we'll just kind of stick them over there. And let's figure out the best way these are going to join, because these are kind of the two ways you get out of this yard in this direction. Let's turn some of this off for now. So this one comes up like, well, actually, let's get the hard connection first. I think that's usually, and then I can make curves from it. So this comes in and just like, yeah, okay, turn anarchy on. Yeah, okay. So if I were to not smooth it at all, this is what it would look like. So I think the next thing is, how much do I smooth? Particularly this one. If I can make this like 20 units from there, and then this has to go back 18, that's probably 20, 19, there, 19 still, there, 20. Okay, so if I bulldoze all this and work with that one in a minute, I'm hoping that this curve will be smooth enough that if I just take, where is it, this one, and just kind of, of course it didn't show it, but just kind of like bring it in easily. Yeah, that looks nice. That way you can kind of go out either way, and this is still got some switching because of the one-way problems. But if I were to say take a two-way, just kind of draw it out, yeah, that'd be, I mean, you get these sort of glitches, but I don't think we'll notice that too much once we get going. So this will be this end. And now the next piece is how do we, if I move it, how do we connect this? Now it needs to go right up here, I think, such that this will just kind of join right in together. So let's do that. Now do I want this one to be curved? No, I think I like it the way it is. I think that's fine. And contrary to what I was dealing with before, we're worrying about having not enough this horizontal space. Now I don't know if I want this lead to be that far vertical. I think I want, businesses or, well, I guess, yeah, businesses, but, industrial type stuff kind of in here. So I'm going to tuck this up in here and actually bulldoze this. Go into my two-way track and try to find something that will nicely just kind of merge in. Okay, so this is what I have now. As you can see, I basically kind of took these A to Ds and smushed them in. I added some more. I think I doubled the classification tracks and brought them a little closer to these A to Ds. A to Ds, A and Ds. Been doing too much hardware work. So I'm still not 100% thrilled with it, but I think I like where it's going. I wish this weren't so kind of like straight and then hard turn, so I might experiment with that a little bit. Maybe I'll put the classification tracks on the inside here. Maybe that'll make it look a little nicer. I'm not sure. But I think I'll go through it again just to, say it out loud and make sure this makes sense, right? So a train comes in from the west, it gets pulled out onto the lead, and then classified the various cars into classification tracks. Once it's classified, you have a train built. You go stick it on the A and Ds, the east A and Ds, and then they can go either out off to the east, or they can take this here extension kind of connection and then run this way. Oh, so maybe I need to add, maybe I'll do it actually right up here. Just add a kind of crossover track like that. So if it's leaving off to the west, you just kind of roll out that way to the west. Although, yeah, I think I like that better than trying to figure out how to put it in one of these tracks over here. So that's if you're coming from the west and you're going east, or you're turning around and going back west. And while I'm here, might as well just add another one, just in case. Now, if you're coming in from the east, you're in these arrival tracks. You get pulled and classified here. So in my head, I'm thinking about where the locomotive's going to come in this way. Well, maybe it comes in this way and needs to kind of because in my mind, the locomotive needs to push the cars in so it's not like stuck in the back. So I guess the locomotive comes around and gets behind them and pushes them into the different classification tracks. And then it kind of does the same, going out. It either goes back to the east or does this loop around and goes to the west. So I think that makes sense, right? I mean, you guys will tell me if it doesn't, but in my head that makes sense. So the layout, I think, is very nearly complete. We just need to start filling in roads and buildings and all the others. Oh, the one thing I do need to add, though, is this other main line running. Let's see if I can get it. So this actually, wow, that's 180. So I need to do a little bit of work on that, the way it breaks off there. But basically the other main, if you're just kind of passing the yard altogether, will run like this. And I want it, I think, just to be very close to the yard. There usually you see them, no wasted space kind of thing. And I'll clean this up with Move It. But go in like this and then just like that. Yeah, so that's where the main comes back and then goes off, and you can go whichever direction you need to. So that, I think, is our yard. Let's go in and see if I can fix. So this needs to not be so crazy. Actually, I think it's this. Although, unfortunately, it looks like I'm at the border of what the tracks will render. There we go. Because, see, I want those tracks to render. But this is already way better. Okay, so take this up here and just kind of do one of these. I don't know why I'm getting these cross-track. Oh, well, that helps. Maybe they just do it when it thinks it's a junction. Can I do it to here? No, maybe not. Well, I guess that's fine because it's up near the junction. As long as I can kind of get rid of them down here, I'm okay with that. So let's bring this one up as well. It's probably a faster way to do this, but oh well. Too late now. So what if I just want a curve? Well, what if I just bulldoze? Is it going to do it on any curve? Let's leave move it. Let's see if I can get this to work the way I want it to. So I just want to go by, yeah, alright, good. And then I just want to kind of come in like this. It's still going to do that. Alright, we're going to do this our own because I don't like those kind of connections. Alright, so this comes down and I almost want it to be, I think, a straight track like that. And we'll bulldoze the rest of this. And let's see, so this needs to kind of come in, oh, I don't know, like there. And I'll bulldoze this. Hopefully, yeah. Good. That looks funny, so I'm going to bulldoze that as well. But so that's our main line eastbound. It comes down, it goes around. Maybe I'll tip these up so this is not such a sharp angle, but like I like how this is just kind of like a sweeping. So I wonder if, oh, that's going to be difficult. All right, so we'll look at that a little bit later. The next thing is roads. Now, there's obviously this big interior space here, and you don't really want to make a connection on to the main. So what if, so it's obviously going to have to be an elevated road across the main. And actually, now that I say elevated road, I remember this bridge we have here. So let me see what this looks like. If I just kind of continue it, it's going to keep doing this. So I want it to be, I want to connect here. I want to come out at 180. And I want to be up like 12 or so. Actually, yeah. So we did this several episodes ago. However many meters that it looks, I think that looks pretty flat, right? Yeah. So like, apparently it's 15 or 16 or whatever. Come on, snap. There we go. So this is going to run, I think, right through. Yeah, we're going to have to play a little bit with anarchy to get it to work, but see the pillar. Well, maybe I'll add a pillar of my own. But so this kind of comes right through here like this, and is our big kind of main connection. And I don't know. There'll probably be something coming off this. So what if I don't really know if I want a intersection, kind of, stoplights, or maybe I just want like ramps. Okay, here we are with my new and improved intersection. I think I like this better, and I have no idea how well traffic is going to handle this, but got to start somewhere. So at least it looks kind of prettier. And so it dumps down into, I think I only want these many lanes, 4 lanes, however many this are. But yeah, I think I like the smaller road better. What I'm trying to say. Plus, I haven't really used too many of these medium-sized next roads, and I kind of like them. So I'm gonna try and remember that they're here and to use them. Plus, here, I know this doesn't really make sense, right? 2 lanes into 3 lanes. I mean, I guess it does a little bit up here, but I really was kind of bothered by the Roads United line being in the middle of the one-way. Like, so if you use this one, you see the yellow line even though it shouldn't be there. So this is an easy way to fix it. It's not, I don't know, it sort of makes sense, but I like it, so I'm sticking with it. Now, this is going to be kind of our main And I don't even know if I want this much now that I think about it, because this is really just going to be, it's not even going to be industry, it's just going to be like train yard stuff. So I'm going to bulldoze it and actually I think just drop down to, yeah, like that. I'm going to drop straight down to this two-lane road with the turning lane, and then start thinking about where I want other roads to kind of come in. So this will be one side. So as I was talking about before I worked on that intersection, it has to be elevated to get over the main. So I might, and see, this is already elevated. If this weren't already elevated, I would say I'd make an elevated junction here, but maybe I'll make a tunnel. I haven't actually made a tunnel. So what if I bring this out like this and over like this and then drop it down? So what is it, minus 12 or so? That's not remotely. So I need like, there we go, like this, kind of minus 12. Okay, so if I bring it in like that, over, I don't have to go far, just like that, and then, of course, how? 11 or 12 units or so. Let's turn this on so I can see what I'm doing. So if I make this 1, 0, so 11 units like that, I'm just going to move this right in, like, right up to the tracks. Although that kind of precludes, yeah, this one is right next to it, so I don't know, maybe right on the tracks, and then try to get this one in a little closer. There. That's a lot less kind of empty space for me to try to figure out how I'm going to fill in. So, then we take the rest of this, and I want anarchy off. What is it running into? Anything? Oh, right through a pillar. Excellent. Well, I bulldoze you, pillar. And hopefully this will come back. What is this, 3-lane? Yep, 3-lane. Going this way, so sure, there, good. Okay, so that is our second kind of entrance into, at least off the lead, and then from there, let's grab this road. Unfortunately, I put it just not quite in the right place for what I want to do. Alright, so let's go up here. I think the first thing I want to do, though, is, so let's line this up first. I want to make a bridge over the lead, because I went over the main, which is obviously like the main line, it's the big, busy road. I think I want to go over the lead too, because that's also pretty busy. Anytime any kind of sorting and moving of trains around is happening, that's going to be people moving up and down on the lead. So I think I want to go over the lead too. And I don't really like these 12 by 10, so let's go maybe 15, see how that looks. Elevated. Upgrade, please. Thank you. Yeah, I like that way better. So for now on, I think my default slope is going to be about 15 units, 17, 16, 15 units by 12 meters. There we go. That's just like a much nicer, gentler slope. And now the problem is this is, oops, not connecting. Okay, so from here, probably have a pillar problem again. Of course we do. So we'll take care of this, and as always, I have no idea what I'm going to be doing on this side of the highway. So for now, we'll just go like this, add our highway back, just like that. And this will probably be, I'm not going to detail this yet, but this will probably be a long-lasting kind of intersection here. Let's turn anarchy on. So I'm not going to, this is going to look a little wanky for now. Whoa, okay, I can't handle that bad, but it's going to look a little weird. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, sort of. But I just want to get the intersection in to see how traffic handles. And after that, I can go in detail. I can add the lines. I can fix the slopes. Although I just have to fix this one a little bit. I don't know, why is that the default? That makes no sense to me. But we'll do that. We'll do this. Bring it up. And so let's just kind of, yeah, there we go. Just make it look tolerable for now. Does this one have to be raised? Well, that one actually did the slope okay, but didn't handle the actual merging very well. There we go. Alright. So this is our pretty ugly intersection, but it'll get the job done for now, and it'll give me an eye on what kind of traffic it can handle, what kind of layout we're going to look at. So now that we're in here, we got our roads coming. I think we're just going to connect them. Let's see, I want this to be, whoops, on the ground. So how far are they apart? Just like that. So the one other thing I want to add as far as train tracks are concerned, well, a few things. I think I want like a caboose storage area, or maybe, yeah, so just kind of like up in here I think would be a good place for that. So there's that. And again, I wish I could kind of access from both directions, but I might change the way this lead works anyway, so that'll be good for now. So the next thing I want is like locomotive storage, or like the actual locomotive that brings the train in goes to get cleaned or stored while the yard crew does all the sorting. So where would that make sense? So if you're coming in this way, you kind of want to be able to pull off. Yeah, so I think maybe I'll put a big building in here, like right about here, but I'll make the tracks kind of look like this. So 90 and 90. And I don't know how many I'm going to want. Depends on whatever building I find to go here, but this is a good placeholder for a locomotive store, or a kind of repair storage. And this will go out like this and just kind of connect like that. Yeah, there we go. So that's locomotive storage this way, and then actually this should probably just be one single track like this. Yeah, there we go. And then again on this end, there we go, 180 degrees, and you just kind of come in. I want to get it, yeah, there we go. Like also under this, like that. So that's our locomotive. Just kind of take this in a little bit. Yeah, there, I think that looks nice. So obviously I'll connect these together a little bit more, but yeah. But yeah, so I'll put a big building here, and then this will be kind of our locomotive storage. Although maybe I'll shift these for parking. Just grab these and move these down a little bit. So then you have parking, and then you can imagine this like large building. Some of this is interior, some of it's exterior. But this is where the locomotives go while the trains are being built. Let's move this node as well. There we go. And then this one in a little there. Oh, this one's really ugly. Okay, well, we're gonna fix it. Just kind of smoothing out the way these curves work. Yeah, there we go, that's better. Alright, so we got a big locomotive yard here. Yard and tracks and building. Parking here. Some other just assorted buildings. What else do we need? I think this can just be like miscellaneous space. Could put some industry buildings in here. So I suppose the next thing to ask is, how do these roads connect? And maybe just like that. Get rid of this and this. And then go in 10 units. Yeah, that sounds good. 10 units. Whoops. Well, no, if I want this building to be straight, I should at least take it to there. And then from here, maybe go in like that, just to take up some extra of this diagonal space. Yeah, okay. So from here, I think I only want 5 units. And 5 units. Like that. There we go. So just like a nice curve here. And another one. This is probably, hopefully, 7. That's a weird number, but 6, even worse. There we go. And then do that. There. So this is our bare bones Railyard. So right here, I think what I want to do is make a small industrial type park. I think I'll have, buildings in here. So actually, I shouldn't put the road right next to the rail if I'm going to put buildings on it. So I think I want something like this. Yeah, but I want this to be, whoops. I want this to be perfectly, there we go, 90. And then this just kind of comes in like that. And then we put some buildings off here. Maybe we stick some buildings off there as well. This is the locomotive track, so maybe this has a road that just kind of comes in and there's something else going on. So we do that. We've got the big locomotive building here. We've got these buildings in here. And then in this one, this area, I think I just want some, actually too far. Yeah, just about right. So this will just be straight up industry, I think. Just kind of like metalworking shops and, sorted things that don't mind being really close to the tracks in a rail yard. So maybe yeah, there we go. I like that. And then we just kind of add some crosses here. Like, let's make this 20 units. 20 more units. And this is going to be more 23. Yeah, that's fine. And then, I don't know, one of these connects, but not the other one. This one comes down. Yeah, this should get one more connection. Maybe, not so much. Just like here. Yeah. That looks good. Yeah, and then I think once I complete the extra buildings in here, maybe this gets an extra little like strip like this, and I don't know, some pieces out like that. Actually, you know what I want to do is maybe bring everything kind of off the grid a little bit like this. Yeah, like that. And even one more, I think. Yeah, there we go. So the rail yard kind of envelops these businesses in this section, and then I think this side of the road will be all just like rail associated buildings and repair shops and stuff like that. Although who knows, once we get into detailing I might start using some of this area, but I like the way this looks right now. But that's all I have time for this week. I know it's a little bare, but if you're worried about it, you'll just have to subscribe and make sure you catch next week's episode where we get into the details and make it look like a real in-use train yard. But in the meantime, I hope you did like it. I like how it's turning out. I think it's going to be pretty nice when it's all done. If you did too, please click the like button below. But until next week, my name's been Rotype, and I'll see you next time.